Next News. Breaking news.
Tonight, California just went from protected blue state playground to federal target after explosive reporting exposed alleged daycare and benefit fraud operating out of tiny apartment units. The Trump Justice Department's moving in with a brand new West Coast strike group. Not talk, not excuses, we're talking action. And right in the center of the storm is Gavin Newsom, already getting hammered for spinning California's decline on national television while families flee, costs explode, and oversight falls apart. So here's the question every American should be asking tonight. Did Newsom lose control of California? Was this exactly what his machine allowed to happen? Now, this matters to every taxpayer watching because fraud is not some abstract policy debate. It's your money. It's your healthcare system. It's resources meant for children, families, seniors, and vulnerable Americans getting siphoned off by people gaming a broken system. When fake providers, shady operators, and paper-only facilities can survive in plain sight, honest families pay more and get less. That's the real cost of left-wing misrule. Politically, this is devastating for Gavin Newsom. He wants to pose as the polished Democrat future, maybe even the man Democrats try to sell you in 2028, but the image is cracking. While he goes on Bill Maher and boasts about population growth and California progress, the Trump administration is sending prosecutors into California, Nevada, and Arizona because the data says those are soft spots where criminals are hiding behind health care. See, that's not a campaign brochure. That's a federal alarm bell that President Trump is doing what Democrats refuse to do for years: enforce the law and clean up the rot. And speaking of the Trump administration moving decisively where America was left exposed, there's another breaking development you need to hear about right now. This breaking news from the White House: they just announced over $30 billion to secure America's critical mineral supply chains and named a specific Alaskan project as a key strategic asset for U.S. mineral independence. That matters because President Trump just unveiled Project Vault, a $12 billion strategic mineral reserve designed to stockpile essential resources and keep America strong, secure, and self-reliant. Now, I've personally been to the Visitor Copper drilling site myself in Canada. I have held the core samples with my hands. But what's happening right now in Alaska is bigger than most people realize. Now, Visitor Copper is positioned in a sector America suddenly cannot afford to ignore. If you want to look into it, the company trades in the United States under VCUFF and in Canada as VCU.V. Check the exclusive briefing, but it's only for Next News viewers, link below, and see why the story is getting some very serious attention. Now back to California, because the deeper you look, the worse the story gets for Gavin Newsom. Now here's the part that should make Newsom allies sweat. This is no longer a viral internet expose or a few angry conservatives online. The Trump DOJ said the move is data-driven, and officials identified Northern California, Nevada, and Arizona as places needing quick focus because healthcare fraud is rampant there. In other words, federal prosecutors didn't pick these areas by accident. They followed the numbers, and the numbers led straight to the West Coast systems Democrats have bragged about for years. Mila Joy posting this: holy cow, it's true. Gavin Newsom is funded by George and Alex Soros. No wonder he wants California destroyed. Not a big shocker, to be honest with you, but you can see all of the money that is going from George Soros all the way to Gavin Newsom. Look at Gavin Newsom, Gavin Newsom, Gavin Newsom, Gavin Newsom, Gavin Newsom. So if Newsom's money trail runs through the Soros world, the next question is simple. What's happening on his watch? The DOJ, the Trump DOJ, is deploying a West Coast strike group to hit healthcare fraud in California, Arizona, and Nevada. After Nick Shirley stormed Gavin Newsom's California, the Trump fraud DOJ division has launched a West Coast strike group to go after healthcare fraud schemes. Prosecutors are surging not just in California, but in nearby Arizona and Nevada. Nick Shirley started a national movement. I voted to destroy fraud. AG Colin McDonald, we are placing in the Northern District of California in Nevada. I think we got video here. Yes, let's go to the video.
We are placing in the Northern District of California, in the District of Nevada, and in the District of Arizona. And this will be 10 or so additional prosecutors on top of the teams that we already have in place. They will be responsible for rooting out, in particular, healthcare fraud that is rampant in these districts. Our decision making for where to scale these resources is driven by data. and we look to the data to see where are the soft spots, where are the places where criminals are exploiting and hiding behind the cloak of healthcare to commit fraud. And these 3 jurisdictions have been identified as places that we really need to put some quick focus on. We have additional strike force teams across the country as well that are combating this problem, in addition to a significant presence that we've placed in the District of Minnesota.
That's music to my ears. Music to my ears. The DOJ's move is a direct shot at fraud in Newsom's backyard. And while prosecutors are moving in, Newsom goes on Bill Maher and tries to sell America the line that California is growing. Eric Darty writes, slithering Gavin Newsom is being slammed nationwide for lying on Bill Maher that California's population is growing. He's going to lie his way to the 2028 presidential campaign. Gavin should resign. He destroyed California. Here is the moment that he's getting roasted.
Federal policy changes cut legal international migration to California by more than half in 2025. But then Governor Newsom, he's now getting slammed for saying, no, the state's growing. Here he is on Bill Maher's program on Friday. Watch this.
We also have seen the last 3 years population growth. We've got to update our talking points. We've seen a 9% decline in unsheltered homelessness. We've got to update our talking points. We've seen a 60% increase in permits for housing. We've got to update talking points. I'm very proud of the state of California.
So, Maria, the chair of the California Republican Party says people are not leaving because the law is being enforced. It's because it's too expensive and it's unsafe.
Maybe we just got to update our talking points, right? Update our talking. He said it 3 times. Oh, my goodness. That guy is the slithering snake indeed. So even as he's accused of lying about the state's numbers, Newsom's still playing make-believe. Next up, watch the governor's construction stunt that critics say looks more like a photo op than actual work. He's getting roasted for this picture. Gavin Newsom's out here doing construction work like he's on a Vogue photo shoot. Dude, what's that stance? Hip-cocked, delicate little hand on the tool, arched back like he's waiting for his close-up. This isn't a governor working. This is a man who spent his whole life in mansions and wineries trying to prove he's one of the guys. Botox Stalin, that's what they're calling him. The only thing you've ever built is a bigger deficit and more regulations. Put the power tool down before you break a nail, princess. Oh my goodness, this is the picture that everyone's just roasting him over. And the memes that are coming off of this photograph are, they're too hot. Too hot for me to even share with you. Yeah. So there he is. Like Gavin Newsom using a power tool like that. Give me a break. This guy's never seen a power tool in his life that didn't show up in a contractor's truck at one of his mansions. So the glossy hard hat act is exactly why voters don't buy the image. And next, one commentator asked the obvious question, where was the press while this scandal was in plain sight? My biggest question is, why didn't our esteemed members of the press expose the scandal? That's their job, after all, inform Americans of political scandals in particular. This explains why the term fake news was coined so easily. Yeah, it's not a failure if it's intentional, right? Oh, yes, here's another one. Fraud in California? Surely, you can't be serious. I'm Shirley, and it's serious. Nick Shirley, God bless that kid. The reaction set the stage for the bigger allegation. Now hammering Newsom, Dr. Poole lays out the daycare fraud claims, including one-bedroom apartments licensed for 8 kids and children reportedly left alone. Nick Shirley on the case. Watch this.
Now let's go to another one that's even more concerning, as kids are left all alone. Now we're at the Jama Shukri Family Childcare. This place is not in a shopping plaza. It's not anywhere near any place that looks like a place where a daycare would be. In fact, it's actually in one of these apartments right here. So they're able to have daycares inside apartment buildings?
Yes. So I've come across many of these. Some of these are on the third story of an apartment complex. It's only 1 bedroom, and yet the capacity is for 8 kids.
We just arrived at the daycare. We have 2 kids out here. I don't know if they're members of the daycare. There's no oversight right here. Can we talk to your teacher? Is your teacher there? So this is the first child we've ever encountered at one of these daycares. There's 2 kids out here right now, and we're gonna see if we can talk to the
licensee. It is, according to this paperwork, Shukri Jama.
Can we talk to the adult?
He is not here.
Not here.
Yeah.
So you guys all by yourself?
Yeah. Knock on the door.
No one's here.
No one is not here.
Okay, so you guys are all by yourself?
Okay. I can be by myself.
Yeah, okay, that's concerning. No one's watching those children and they're all by themselves.
My heart is breaking right now. I can't. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and what makes you so emotional as a mother, seeing that those kids are just out by themselves?
Seeing the kids all by themselves. It's supposed to be a licensed daycare, and there's no adult anywhere. What is going on?
And the crazy thing is, California allocates $6 billion to child care and daycare facilities just like these, and there are over 39,000 facilities in the state.
39,000 facilities in the state. Wow. And that's the moment. Gavin Newsom is selling fantasy while the Trump administration's cleaning up reality. Newsom goes on TV claiming California is growing and thriving. Then independent reporting shows alleged daycare setups in one-bedroom apartments licensed for 8 kids with obvious oversight questions. Then the DOJ announces a West Coast strike group because fraud is rampant. Then critics raise questions about the money, the media protection, and the political machine behind it all. This is bigger than Gavin Newsom. It's a test case for the entire blue state model. High taxes, weak oversight, flashy PR, and corruption thriving under the banner of compassion. President Trump is exposing that model by doing the simplest thing Democrats hate the most: enforcing the law. So the bottom line is California is now under the microscope, and Gavin Newsom cannot smile, pose, or spin his way out of that. If the Trump Justice Department is deploying prosecutors because the data shows criminal abuse in these systems, then Americans deserve full accountability, not another polished interview, another fake photo op with a power tool. The people who built this mess should answer for it. And that's why we'll keep tracking every raid, every indictment, every excuse from the Democrat machine. If you want uncensored updates, text raw feed to 844-840-4963. That's how you beat the algorithm and get direct alerts from me to your phone when it matters most. And then make sure you check out the Next News merch shelf below this video and help support real America First reporting. Now I want to hear from you. Should Gavin Newsom resign? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments and share this report everywhere. Subscribe if you have not, and stand with us as President Trump keeps delivering law, order, and accountability for America.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.